key thing is whether or not you have a sufficient amount of power within yourself to affect the system when the system is working against your vested interest. I think as black people, we've got to become concerned, first of all, with what our vested interest is in either preserving the system or changing the system. And once we make that determination, then the direction that we have to take is clear for us. Yet there is none that represents our interest. Every segment of our society that represents a power lever is represented there, except people, and particularly black people. And I think we should be about the business of coming together, not in specifics as to what our interests and goals are, but certainly in generalities in terms of what we need to exist in this society. I think what I'm getting at is the acquiring of power within the black people themselves to affect the system in any way it needs to be affected in order to produce on behalf of the interests of black people. I'm saying that every other ethnic group in our society has, by some means or other, acquired the power to move out of their depressed or oppressed situation, with the exception of black and brown. I think what I'm saying is that whatever that power has to be to move the government or move local structures, that's what we need to be about. And I think this vested interest should be the basis of our movement.
We as black people are going to talk about change. One of the first things we need to do is develop some unity within ourselves, have the same philosophy. But we have to learn to communicate, and I think we are, in a large measure, learning to communicate with each other. And we've got to develop coalitions with others because we are a small minority. We have great power, however, if we can unite our minority with other minorities, because there are other groups of people who would wish to move in the same direction as we wish. If this is to be so, one of the first things that must be accomplished is that black people, poor people, must unite themselves and then join forces with others.
Well, I do see more unity because the power structures in the South are forcing us to have more unity. There have been a class split with the black community. That's being moved because we are finding out whether you middle class or no class is no different. As long as we black, we in the same boat. And that's forcing us to be together. So he's finding that it's no different in us, and it's forcing us to get together. And I think that the change will come because we have to, it's nothing handed to us on a silver platter, and we have to work together for a change in the South.